All right, we're going to work on I'm going to show you a short video on setting up your final project for your first part of your final project, which is your floor plan, which is assignment 2 for this week. And within that, I have already set up, and I showed you in the previous video, how to set up the final project file, taking your master title block file and setting it up with the 5D sheets. So now we're going to go into how to set this drawing up and drawing your floor plan. All right, so again, I'm going to open up the file that I call Final Project DT, and I saved on 611. As I open this up, you will see at the bottom left that we have cover sheet, site plan, floor plan, north-south elevation, east and west elevation. These have all been labeled like I showed you in the previous video. So the first thing always, you're going to set your units, UNITS. And for these, we're going to set this to architectural. And the precision, we're going to go ahead and leave it, or if you don't have it there, set it at 1/4 on the precision. 1/4 on precision. Just leave the inches, inches the way they are under insertion scale, just inches. And now we're all set on the units. The next thing we're going to set is our dem style, so D, enter. The dem styles, make sure we're on the standard, not annotative. And then we're going to modify the standard setting. In the standard setting, we'll start over on the symbols and arrows. And on this, for the arrowhead size, I'm going to start off at 8 inches. 8 inches for the arrowhead size. And then we'll set our text to the same, text height at 8 inches. Enter. And then the primary units, we're going to set those to architectural. And we're going to set those to 1/4 on the precision. 1/4 on the precision. So those are the three things, the symbols and arrows, text, and primary units. That's all we need for right now. We'll hit OK and close. Next thing we're going to set up are our layers. Our layers. So the next thing we'll go to is our layer properties. And right now we have the 0 layer and title block layer. And I'm going to go ahead and edit that title block layer just by double clicking on the title there. And I'm going to go ahead and set that to interior walls. And I'm going to set that to a color that other than white that you'll be able to see on this demo. I don't recommend these. These aren't recommendations. These are just some colors that make it visible for you to see. And then I'm going to go ahead and make that interior walls. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to thicken up the line weight on that interior walls. And I'm going to set that to point, a little thicker than that, 0.70 on that. Then I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to call that exterior walls. And I'm going to change the color on that just so we can designate the difference on that. And hopefully you'll be able to see this color here. And I'm going to leave the line weight the same on the exterior walls as the interior walls. Then we'll make another layer called dimensions. And we'll change that. And I'm going to go ahead and go to, if I make it gray, which I really like to do, is make the dimensions a light gray, but you won't be able to see them very well. I'll go ahead and make them a white. I'm going to make another layer for my notes. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that white. And these line weights are way too thick on that. Remember, whatever layer you're on and you make a new layer, it's going to replicate that layer that you have clicked on. So I'm going to go ahead and set that back to the default layer. Dimensions. Okay, and then I'm going to set the note layer back to the default thickness as well. Hit OK on that. And then I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to call it cabinets. Don't forget you need upper and lower cabinets. You could separate that out if you want. And I'll change the layer on that. And I'll see if you guys can see this layer here or not. And then I'm going to make another layer, and I'm going to call that doors. I'm going to go for it here and see if you'll be able to see that. A little darker gray. And then I'm going to make another layer, and I'm going to call that windows. And I'm going to go ahead and set that up a lighter gray, and hopefully you can see that in there as well. Now, this is just a suggestion on the layers. This is just a suggestion, but you can make more layers on that. Again, the minimum is 4, other than the 0 layer and the DEM style, def point layer, other than def points. So the def points aren't showing up because I have not made a dimension in here yet in this drawing. So there is just a recommendation on some of the layers. Don't use these colors. Typically, a professional drawing will use more of the grays, the blacks, and the lighter grays. The reason I'm using these brighter colors is so you'll be able to see them on the screen, hopefully. And then also want to make note that any color that you use, if it's a bright color, it's going to be the first thing to pop off, and you do want to see your floor plan first. You don't want to see the text first. You don't want to see the doors or windows first. All right, so I'm good to go on that, I feel. So now I'm going to come back to my drawing, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set it, activate the layer or make the layer current for the exterior walls. And I'm just drawing a sample here of walls. And I'm going to make my first one 45 feet long. Put in 45. Enter. Escape. It goes off the screen, so I double click on the center wheel, bring everything in, a couple clicks back, and I can see the line. I'm going to go ahead and move this away from the XY, turn off ortho, and I'm just going to get this up here a little more room. I like to be a little more comfortable with that. So double check my first line if that's what the distance is. Now this is off your sketch. You guys are going to be drawing this off your sketch, but you want to make sure that first line was 45 feet. It's good. And then I'll start drawing my house from here. So I'm just going to go ahead and make some arbitrary numbers. And mouse is not working all that great, or CAD isn't one of the two. So I'm going to have to play with this to be able to get in the sight. I'm going to make another line. This is for, oops, and I can see that line is crooked there. It was a 25-foot line. I forgot to turn ortho back on, so I will redo that line at 25 feet. And again, please make sure you use your sketch. This is just an example to get you started. 25, and then I'm going to come over 24 feet, my garage area. And now I come up 15 and back this way, and that's not deep enough garage. So let me do that one again. Definitely want a bigger garage than 15 feet deep. I want to be able to get a vehicle in there. or at least a truck. Make this 25 feet. And we'll come over 40 feet and down 15, let's see, no, 10 feet. And then over, and I'm just going to go ahead and close this out here. That's weird, it's not closing out for me. So, all right. That's interesting. There's a little command, not a command, but there's a indicator when you've become parallel or in alignment with the other line that you're trying to close out, and it's not showing up. So I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way and just trim this out so they're nice and even. TR entered for the trim command on it. All right, so now I have my exterior walls done, and I need I have the outside of it done. Now I need to do the offset, so I'm going to do an offset of 6 inches. And just go around and do the exterior walls. I'm just doing an offset of 6 inches. That's what I want my exterior. I want a little more insulation on these things. Then a 5-inch. My interiors will probably be 4-inch walls. And I'm just going to set these up. And that's about all I'm going to show you on that. And then how to clean these walls up one more time. I think that's about all you're going to need to get your drawing going. But again, this is done in one drawing, and that time that command worked. I don't know what the other deal was. And so you're going to do your floor plan, your site plan. You're going to do everything in this one drawing. I'm going to trim this out here. This gives you an example what these wall intersections should look like. Again, I can't reiterate enough. Make sure that you make those first couple walls correct. Otherwise, you may be starting off completely wrong by the time you get around to the end about closing this house in. I'm in the trim command, so I'm just going to skip that one wall right now. I'll come back to the intersecting on that. I just want to trim these out, then I'll come back to the intersection point. And all I'm doing is hitting the space bar to go out of the command, space bar to go back in, so I can do my selection on that. One more up here, space bar, says select the object. I select them, hit enter or space bar to have the software know that I'm done selecting. And then come back to this one here, and I'll try to show you that shortcut if it works this time. So I select the line, left click on the grip. Now I'm just moving my cursor down as I'm moving my line out with snaps on. I'm going to hover over this line. I don't know if you can see that green line below the X right there. As soon as I see that green dashed line below the X, I can left click and make that top line the same length as that intersecting line, or made it the same length to intersect that line. So there you have that. The exterior walls are set up. The next thing I would do is convert over to interior walls, and then I would start drawing my interior walls on that, and that gets it all set up. After I got the interior walls in, I would go to doors, windows on that, and getting all that set up. So that's how you get your floor plan for your final project set up. Hopefully that was helpful for you and get you going in the right direction, setting your units, your dem styles, and your layers to get that going. All right, thanks for watching. Let me know tomorrow if there's any questions, and we'll go from there. Take care.